Question 26. Alison wants to find out how much time people spend reading books. She's going to use a questionnaire. Design a suitable question for Alison to use in her questionnaire. It's worth 2 marks. Every time you see a question like this, it's after the same kind of things, that you design a question that finds the relevant information in a given time frame. Now, this doesn't specify anything other than how much time people spend reading books. So there's a lot of variations on this. I'm just going to show you one example. So for a possible question, how much time spend reading books, I'm going to think about this in a day on average. So we want to make sure the question is unbiased and seems quite fair and easy to answer. So my question could be something like, how long do you spend reading books every day? It's a question that finds out the information that they wanted to find out. So that's worth 1 mark at the moment. To get a second mark, you should always include response boxes. The response boxes should be varied, not cross over, and bear in mind the time frame you've given this. So we have to make sure we've got probably 3 to 4 response boxes will be good enough. Just little tick boxes. Never put a little line saying specify here. That will never be good enough. We want something that's easy for people just to tick. So, we want approximations. Now if we think there's 24 hours in a day, most people will be active for about 12 hours of that, but you're not going to have everyone spending their entire day doing that. So we want to keep values relatively low. So for the first one, we're going to say not at all. You can have a 0 option, not at all. So therefore we want to have something that is like maybe up to 2 hours. That gives quite a reasonable frame. Maybe we want to push this up a little bit further. Now if we put up to 4 hours here, it's a big jump and it would include the previous step. So a better idea here is to make sure that we put this as a group. Now one thing you are allowed to do here is actually say 2 to 4 hours. Now while this overlaps with a 2, this just says up to 2, whereas this part actually implies 2 or bigger. So they could choose between those 2. It doesn't matter that 2 overlaps in this case. So for your final one, you could just say more than 4. Any option that you chose to put in there, as long as they're sensible, don't overlap, or have reasonable gaps between them, should get you your second mark.